Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Texas Hockey Podcast. This is our fourth rendition. Today we're going to be recapping Game 4 between the Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets. My name is Trevor, Neal, and I'm with my co-host Travis Tyler. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, it was another good game to be at.
It was a beautiful game to be
conversation
at.
coming here, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. For those kind of lagging behind or living under a rock, the Dallas Stars just came away with a 3-1 win in Game 4, which increases their series lead to a 3-1 series lead over the Winnipeg Jets. They take 2 of 2 at home after already stealing one up in Winnipeg. The Stars really tonight took that firm lock on the series going forward.
Yeah. If you would have told me going into this series, this is where it would be at, I don't think I would have believed you. But we've seen some really good hockey, really all four games, even though they got shut out in that second one. Doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon. It's a good sign.
No, this is a Stars team that looks primed for a deep run. I kind of want to talk about what was the big news coming into today's game, Travis, that we have all been ragging on for what feels like about a year. We've been talking about this.
It's been about 42 games, so you're not that far off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miro Heiskanen, obviously back in the lineup. Crowd went nuts when he was announced as I believe he was announced in the starting lineup, if I remember.
He was, correctly. And afterwards, Pete was asked about the pop in the arena after that awesome moment, Miro getting announced in the starting lineups. Goosebumps is what he said to that. Yes, and you were in that arena. I would assume you could attest to that as well.
Yes, I will say not only that, but the arena as a whole, the atmosphere didn't feel bad on Sunday or anything, but it felt even better tonight. Everything. Maybe it was a Mother's Day thing, but everything was great. Or maybe it was Miro coming back. Who knows? But something about that just felt so good. And then when the Stars got that first goal, you could kind of tell, okay, this is going to be a pretty good. This has the potential to be a pretty good night.
Yeah, and you say that even with, I think there was a chunk of that second period in which the building really did kind of quiet down a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But the vibe that I got of that third period, just kind of watching the broadcast, was there was not a person on their feet or in their seats for the vast majority of that third period. The building was rocking. We had Anton Hudobin make a surprise appearance. We had the Dallas Cowboys making surprise appearances. Paige Beckers, the Dallas Wings' first overall WNBA pick, was in the arena tonight. This one felt like Dallas was in the building tonight, and it really did show on the ice as well.
Yeah, it was wild for a Tuesday night, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. No other sport is getting people this crazy for a Tuesday night. It's the craziest thing in the world.
And the fact that this was the only NHL game tonight was icing.
All eyes were on the Stars.
Yeah. Everything was there. And I mean, they performed well. I mean, we haven't really touched enough on Miro after you brought him up, but he was out there doing pretty well for what we were expecting. I think 15 minutes was about how much he played. That's honestly a little higher than I thought they were going to have him there. And he had some good chances on the net too. He got an assist in the game. Would have been pretty cool to see him get a goal if he could get one of those through. But
the building would have exploded.
Oh, the building would have absolutely exploded. I thought the building was going to explode when they announced him as an assist on one of those Granlund goals.
Yeah.
But
we'll get back to that.
It was almost like they hadn't even said his name. It was a complete 180 from the starting lineup announcement. But it's just, the thing that I kind of liked was that they kept Harley on that first power play unit, and now you have Heiskanen running the second power play unit. That's crazy because we were talking about last episode or last game that there was kind of a lack of that second offensive defenseman, and now he's back in the line.
Yes. Yeah, I think Pete handled the transition of Miro back into the lineup perfectly. We really don't want to mess with the power play that's working. I really liked the decision to leave Harley up there on that first power play unit. And you were almost dead on. You were 8 seconds off. Miro Heiskanen logged 14:52 tonight. And I thought we got a pretty
rounding, 14. Okay?
Yeah, a little rounding, yeah. I think we got a really good Miro tonight, considering he's missed 40-odd games. I think he looked not 100%. Like there is a moment, and I'm forgetting exactly where it was in the game, where he kind of had to catch back up to a forward, and I'm like, normally Miro's a little quicker than that.
Pete even I thought he was really the first time he'd seen that happen where he didn't catch him. So
yeah, and that's usually Miro's thing, that it doesn't matter where he's on the ice, he can catch you. But I thought he was really defensively sound. He looked comfortable with the puck. All things considered, I mean, it wasn't the Miro that we're used to, but I feel very confident with how he looks going into the rest of this playoff season.
Yeah.
The Stars are really lucky.
The way they were talking about him while he was out and while they were trying to get him back into the lineup and all of us were asking, when's it going to happen? It kind of made me – I kind of expected less than what he was able to give tonight, which is a huge sign. Yeah. I mean, he looks – like you said, not 100%, but he looks fine. He looks like that. Maybe obviously, healthy. He's the number one, but he looks like a number 2, maybe number 3 defenseman right now, and that's all you really need him to be. And
they're not back up against the ropes either right now, so they don't need Miro to be this top of the line defenseman. Though there was some situations throughout the game, and I'm having a little brain fog on pinpointing exactly when they happened, but he did break up a 3-on-1 tonight pretty impressively.
I think it was. I was about to bring that up. I think it was actually a 4-on-1.
Yes, it ended up being a 4. It was a little odd, yeah. He looked really comfortable in that play. There's a few different rushes, and he was really crafty with his stick work tonight, cutting off angles, like a really defensively sound game from Miro. And offensively, it wasn't bad as well. But when Harley's playing as well as he is, it was kind of weird to see Miro step back a little bit and really feel that comfortable side of him really showed tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the offensive depth, but I mean, the defensive depth is shown in this series, especially with Miro coming back. I mean, they scratched 2 forwards tonight instead of taking the defenseman out of the lineup. They went with 11 forwards. 7 defensemen, Mikko Rantanen pulling double shifts. So that's
I love that quote from
this morning
pregame, where it's no one's complaining. There's something along the lines of no one's complaining about Mikko getting extra playing time. He's earned it, and they made some good points about it on the broadcast. Of that's really not how the Stars have seen success all season. Their success has come from overwhelming depth. And to see them really do a 180 on kind of their mindset right here. Oscar back and Blackwell were the 2 forwards out. Yes. So Petrovic does stay in. It seems like our show is slowly becoming an Alex Petrovic. We are Alex Petrovic supporters on this show. So we're happy to see him stay in the lineup.
It's a good story.
It's a great story. We love Petrovic. 2 playoff goals in his career, 9 years apart, and they're both game winners that broke a tie in the third period.
9 years.
Like, what a guy. 9 years. That's crazy.
That's a stat. That's a stat, man.
Yeah. The Stars it was a little bit of a different mindset, throwing more attention onto a single player in Mikael Granlund. Yeah. How can you blame them? He is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Right. Well, I mean, look at the 2 lines that he's a part of now. It's him, Hintz, and Granlund, and then he's down there, and then he's next playing with Robertson and Johnston. I mean, that
is just
it's not
the
fair.
Dumbest 6 group. Like that is. I didn't even that didn't even click until you said it. That is just the stupidest group of 6 players that Pete. That is the Monstars. Oh yeah, it's only 5. Yeah. Just double up Mikko. That's just the Stars are having fun, and I think that's why they're getting as much success as they are. But there's been a certain player that I'd like to personally apologize to. Through the first kind of half of this series, I kept saying And you can say, here's your opportunity to rip me apart. I kept saying Mikael Granlund really kind of needs to be the guy to step up here. A lack of finish, getting the opportunities, the puck really wasn't going in. Well, Mikael Granlund scores his first career playoff hat trick and the Stars' third hat trick of the playoffs so far, scoring all 3 Stars goals tonight in spectacular fashion. Tonight was Mikael Granlund's night. He put the team on his back. And Mikael, I'm sorry. You proved me very wrong. I still stand by what I said. We could have seen a little bit more finish and a few opportunities earlier in the season or in the series, but I can't be mad about it now. I will never say anything bad about you ever again. I'm sorry. Thank you for tonight's win. He looked fantastic. Yeah, and the first goal, he bullied the puck into the net. I've watched it, and I'm just like, oh, you just beat him.
That sidestep move he made at center ice was incredible. I was like, he's scoring on this as soon as he made that move.
Yeah, he played with swagger.
Yeah, and then that one timer at the end was just as incredible. Oh my god!
And when the shot, my reaction was weird, and that the shot went in, and I was like, oh, that was random. I don't know why in my head I was like, oh, that was Mikko, and then no, it's a Mikael. That did not look like a Mikael Granlund shot. That dude put every ounce of anger he's ever had into that puck. And they could have hit Hellebuck in the chest, and it may have gone in the net. Yeah. It was brutal.
Well, I mean, from my point of view, it was scored on the other side of the ice than where our seats were.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to tell who actually shot that puck because you couldn't see a number on it. You could see the player that it did, but you couldn't tell it was Granlund. At least I couldn't tell it was Granlund from my seat until until the hat started going onto the ice, and I was like, oh, that was Granlund again. Okay.
Yeah, there's always that moment. There's a hat trick in the building where like, was that it? Did we get one? And you see hats coming over your head. There's always that moment, and you learn by the hat on the ice, which is a really fun part of getting to experience one in person. But I want to let's talk about kind of led to the third Mikael Granlund goal, which was the one-timer, came on a 4-minute double minor. And it feels really relieving to say that because it wasn't the Stars taking the double minor. Right? Someone else did it. It happened to somebody else. The penalty issues, while still were there a little bit, was definitely nowhere near what we've kind of seen earlier in the series. Tyler Seguin does take 2 tonight. 4 minutes in penalties. We talked about that briefly before we started recording. The second one, just bad timing. And it's really brought out by you're taking 2 in relatively quick succession in the game. Yeah. He probably only got a shift or 2 in between those 2 penalties. Just brutal. I think that really led to, I think through the first half of this game, I think Winnipeg was the better team for a large chunk of this until who took it? Hayden Fleury takes the double minor with 2 and a bit minutes into the third. There was kind of this feeling I got while watching, and I really want your opinion on it as well, that it feels like when that double minor happened, there is this feeling of the Stars are winning this game.
Yeah.
And it was
spot on. Yeah.
It was. Go ahead.
Yeah, that just got the crowd right back into it. Like there were little peaks and valleys kind of in the crowd tonight, and after Winnipeg tied it up at 1, you could kind of feel
it died.
The crowd kind of taper off, and then Granlund with that second goal kind of brought him back, and then that fourth. The 4-minute penalty. I think you could sense a relief in the crowd that what you just said, somebody else other than a Stars player got called for a 4-minute. Like those do exist, and now we get to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and you could even dial a little bit further back than the second Granlund goal, which came late in the second period to take the lead back. The Stars had been getting outplayed pretty badly for a little bit of a stretch, and Jake Ottinger made the save of his playoff so far. And I think that had a pretty big pop. It really The Jets had just been hammering the Stars in their own end for a little bit. They get a few golden opportunities, which Jake keeps out the net. It turns around, and Granlund pots one. I would make the argument that those saves leading into that goal is what won them this game. It put them back into it, and the Stars controlled it the rest of the way out.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I had a couple conversations with people while I was at the arena where we were just like, Jake Ottinger won them that game.
He's their best player. It's crazy because Mikael Granlund's on them.
If he wasn't perfect, Winnipeg could have easily had 5, 6, 7 goals tonight with the way they were shooting the puck.
Yeah.
And he just kept it tied and only gave up one. I mean, we talked about a lot in past episodes about you're never going to see Jake Ottinger versus Calgary type of performance again, but that was pretty damn close, and they needed it.
Yeah, and we're complimenting his performance tonight so much. In the one goal he gave up, I know Jake went home tonight and thought I should have had a shutout because that one, I got nervous when that puck went in the net because we've been talking. Jake tends to have a stinker here and there, and when that puck went in, it was like, oh no, tonight might be the one, and it'll be terrible timing for him to have it. But I really think after he gave just a really odd angle shot right through the 5-hole, just didn't react to it. I don't think he was expecting a shot whatsoever because that was very uncharacteristic of Jake.
Ehlers even said he wasn't really like aiming at anything; he was just throwing it at the net. So
yeah, it just beats Jake 5-hole. Yeah. It was weird. It's not the best when the player who scored says I wasn't trying to score. That's usually
he didn't say that. He
was not shooting with the intention of scoring.
Right.
Is the way to put it. Yeah. It was a pucks on net create chaos kind of shot that just went in cleanly.
But like we were saying about Ottinger, I mean, he made so many hard saves look easy, simple tonight. And I mean, Winnipeg could have scored so many more times. That save he made on Kyle Connor, I believe that's the one you were referring to when you said he made the save. That was, I mean, that Pete DeBoer even said in post game that changed the game because that
1,000%.
That if he scores there, you never know what's going to happen the rest of the game, and that's their leading scorer too. Like Winnipeg, this is obviously Stars based podcast. We talk a lot about the Stars, but on the Winnipeg side of things, it's scoring wise, it's been Kyle Connor, Nino Niederreiter, and tongue twister for a name, and pretty much nobody else scoring wise.
It's funny that we've been complaining about our depth, but on the other side of the ice, it's been so much worse.
There's no depth.
No, it's been a weird series. Not what I was expecting to come out of Winnipeg, Dallas whatsoever. But one thing that I'm not surprised by is just how much Dallas has controlled the play. Like you said, Winnipeg's lack of depth, the Stars have taken advantage of, and their lack of depth hasn't bit them the way that it has with Winnipeg. Yeah. And now those depth goals are pouring in, even though it feels weird calling Mikael Granlund a depth player.
Especially when he's playing on really the top line, technically.
Yes, that's how the Stars don't have top line. That's how I have to picture them. Is they just have 4 lines and with just guys on
positionless
them, and it just goes. It really is. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Jim Nill and Pete DeBoer have put together the infinity rings of Finnish hockey. And it's just been the craziest roster build I've ever seen. The Mikael Granlund pickup is looking smarter by the day now, especially with this performance. I wanted to bring this little stat up. This is from Josh Clark, he refers to himself as Razor's research monkey. So I'm assuming he's the stats guy there. He said there is now a 27.3% chance you will see a Finn score a hat trick if you watch a Stars playoff game. That is my favorite. They're coming in bunches, and the Finns, every single time there's a USA chant in the arena, Twitter gets really mad at the arena for saying, hey, all of the Stars that are scoring right now are Finnish. Can we get a Finland chant? We won't. It's Texas. It's amazing we're not just squawking like bald eagles, but it's the Finn presence on this team is crazy. And they're carrying them like Rupe, even though the puck isn't going in the net as much, goals wise, has contributed so much on a lot of the random goals.
He's been doing little things that work out very well.
Yeah, he's a two-way center, so there's a reason he could be a major reason that maybe the Jets' depth isn't working as well because of how good he is in his own end. Yeah, things are really clicking for this team. All around great performance. Their third period really makes up for their little stutter during kind of the back half of the first into the second. They really made up for that.
Yeah, Winnipeg was really controlling things at that point. Puck was easily moving on their sticks. It felt like they were much more calculated and intentional with their offensive zone time, whereas Dallas wasn't getting as many shots. I mean, Dallas didn't have 10 shots till like the 4 minutes left in the second period. That's forever to get a 10th shot. And Winnipeg, outshot them the entire game. And it didn't feel like Dallas was able, at least early in the game, was able to like hold their offensive zone and get multiple shots on Hellebuck and get pucks to the net like they talked about they needed to do, especially with the way he's playing. It feels like, I've said this about the Colorado series last year with Georgiev. It feels like any puck that's on net has the chance to go through him and go in.
Yeah, and tonight wasn't even his worst game of the series.
No.
I really wouldn't blame him for any of the three, I wouldn't say. But when a goalie's shaky, like the way that he is, even though he's been much better against Dallas, that shakiness is still there. Pucks on net, they really do have to start a little bit better than they did tonight. You can't let Hellebuck settle into a game because there's a chance. We still have to go to Winnipeg again.
Yeah.
And I don't feel confident the Jets are going to come back in this series. I'm very confident the Stars get this done, and most likely 6, I'm thinking. But there's a good chance we get it done in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
If we expect Winnipeg to look their best for Game 5. Did you see the video of them coming off the ice?
No, I was down in the nooks and crannies of the arena.
Yeah, so Granlund waved them off, which was, God bless Mikael Granlund, giving them a little wave as they leave the ice. And you could just see, like, broken sticks just laying on the ground, the tunnel off of the ice surface. This is a really frustrated Jets team. 56-win team is now down 3-1 to a team that they outplayed quite significantly. And we've brought it up several times on this show, how much better the Jets were than the Stars during the regular season. And now they're down 3-1.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't even know how to explain that right now, but it's good. I mean, the Stars have shown me exactly what I needed to see in this series to confidently say that they're probably going to win this series. I think part of the early struggles that we talked about too was the Winnipeg forecheck kind of seemed like it was a little more aggressive early, and the Stars were having a little bit of trouble getting the puck out of their zone. So they cleaned that up a little bit, and if they can do that, at Winnipeg and play like they did in the third period and parts of the first, I guess we should say, and a little bit of the second. They basically, you carry the good into Winnipeg. You can easily come out with a 5-game series win, and that's impressive considering pretty much everybody at like ESPN and all that had Winnipeg winning this at 4.
Yeah, no, and I wanted to ask you because we're starting to see a lot of frustration from the Jets throughout this series. It's kind of building up naturally with how poorly it's going for them. And at the end of the Colorado series, we had that soundbite from McKinnon with they were down probably their best forward, they were down their best defenseman. We still lost. What makes this Stars team so damn frustrating for teams to play? even without their star talent, it seems like we're getting in people's heads and we're a hard team to play against.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could point at the depth, but I think it's also they've become more physical. I don't know
They're
what
mean. Yeah.
I don't know what like turned the page and suddenly brought that to this team because that was something they were missing for a while. Now they
Liam
may have
Bichelle has just ignited something in them.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They I mean, we've talked about the penalties on here. I'm not going to harp on that other than to say that maybe sometimes they've overcorrected that problem a little bit. But there's, I mean, there used to be pretty much, somebody would get in their face and they kind of walk away. Now they're fighting back. And
and we saw that at the end of the game.
Oh, we've seen that in pretty much every game this postseason, honestly.
Yeah. They're a playoff team. They play like a playoff team. The building is a playoff building. Like they are just. I think the Stars are part of the select few in the NHL in which the regular season truly does not matter in Dallas.
Well,
I think it matters to ramp up, but it's just
as long as you make the playoffs.
It's
going to matter. You're going to be pissed off.
Yeah. They're so good that like the playoff or the regular season is like a forethought. And it feels like we're just ramping up to this all year long. And we're right in it, and the Stars have exceeded expectations, I'd say. The physicality, the scoring in bunches that we've gotten from thankfully more than just Mikko Rantanen, even though he's still notched a point tonight. It's spreading out throughout the lineup. We've gotten great goaltending, and players like Liam Bichelle are going to make sure that you're on some type of painkiller if you're going 7 against the Stars. I don't want to be in a corner with that guy.
Yeah,
that's a big dude.
That is a large human being. So was Alex Petrovic, but by the way, I mean, they've got some big bodies on the back end for sure. That'll help. But it's interesting that they still have that. Even without Chris Tanev from last year, he was that type of player on the back end, physicality and everything. But I also think that part of what's carrying over is with the past 2 years and how far they've been able to get, but still not getting to that end goal of winning the cup or even playing for the cup. It's pissed off some of the veterans that have been around here for the couple of years. They're hungrier than you can even sense from watching from afar.
Yeah. I think a player like Jamie Benn has to know there's only so many more opportunities he's going to get. As a player who's had such a long and productive career as Jamie has, he's got to know that I don't know if the Stars are going to have a chance this good again in Jamie's time here. It's hard to keep this up with how well the puck's going in right now and how well your goaltending is and how well your defense is playing. That's got to ignite something in you that, hey, next year, that Colorado series may not go our way. The Winnipeg series may not be going our way next year. So there's a fire in some of these players. I wish they were scoring more to coincide with that fire, but they're playing great. They're playing fantastic.
Well, and Jamie's contract situation's got to play into that too. I mean,
when is his up?
I believe it's after this season, if I'm not mistaken. They talk about so much mutual interest in that kind of stuff. Yeah, from Jim Neal, from Jamie Benn. I mean, obviously, I don't think that they want to let him walk out the door. I don't think he wants to walk out the door. It just depends on, it's a business. You got to figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah. I'm pulling up his contract details now. I don't see Jamie ever playing for a team that
he shouldn't.
No, he should be a star forever.
Yeah.
Contract details. When do you end, Jamie? Okay, he's got one more year.
One more year. Okay.
No, he doesn't. It ends 24-25.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, this is it. I think he comes back on a discount.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's that big a deal. It's just it's not a non-factor either.
Yeah, I think Jim has kind of the number that it's, hey, Jamie, you have to know that you aren't a $9+ million player anymore. I think that has to be a mutual
Yeah,
understanding here.
yeah.
Jamie is a little delusional if he thinks he's a $9 million player now. But if you could get him on a cheaper deal, which you definitely will, he's back
I
1,000%.
think they're
Someone's
at
got to mentor Wyatt.
yeah. I mean, I think they're well. Does he really need a mentor anymore? He's kind of
For the captaincy.
fair.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Jamie and the Stars brass are at a point where they can both understand the type of hometown discount kind of deal.
Yeah. Look, it's, hey, Jamie, so you know that Miko guy that came in? Your money
Turns out
went
we need
to
to pay
him.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna make more. If you could score 19 points in a round and a half, you could get that type of money too. But he took some of your money, and it's cool playing with him, right? And that's what's gonna get the deal done.
Imagine if there was a way they did the salaries where it fluctuated based on how you play, like just in season.
Could you imagine trying to convince the players union to like? So imagine like you're, especially goalies and stuff, where you'll just have streaks in which you're unplayable, and like you go from making like $7-8 million to league min because you just gave up 8 last night. Like it would never work, but it's funny to think about.
It just popped into my head. I was like, man, what if it worked like the stock market and just like.
Yeah, because I know that when Sagan took his second penalty tonight, you're thinking pay cut. Yeah. You're giving your game check to someone else tonight for that. But luckily, Sagan's 2 penalties didn't really throw them off too badly. Neither did the Jamie Benn roughing at the end of the game. I thought it was real funny that he was the only one to get one out of that scrub, even because there was so much going on in it that I couldn't tell. It was just a blur of hockey players, and Jamie went to the box from it.
Yeah. I couldn't tell who had the penalty from there. Like, because we were.
It was a mess.
I was back in like the media workroom at that point watching it on the TV, so I didn't. They didn't really say who the penalty was on. They showed the skirmish and they showed that Winnipeg was on the power play.
Yeah, and it was a weird power play too at the end, to cycle back to the game a little bit, and I had no worry at all. I was like, the Stars are going to kill this. Nothing's happening at the end of this game. The only thing that will is we might see another Finnish player score a goal without a goalie. I was kind of hoping one of them would get one just to keep the theme going.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about Granlund getting a 4th one with the empty net, too. So
I saw him on the ice. I was like, he wants it. So I think it's like 19 of the last. We can now include Granlund into this. 19 of the last 20 Stars goals have had a point attributed to either Rantanen or Granlund. So just an absolute heater from the Finns. We should put like the little Suomi patch with like the lion that they put on their jerseys. Put it on our shoulder.
Put it on the shoulder.
Just we're represent. Yeah. This is Finland's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember our first episode, we actually had a listener from Finland. That's how popular the Stars are over there. Yes, they commented. We had a listener from Finland.
Did not really notice that. That is awesome. We're a global show, apparently.
Yes, we're a global phenomenon.
The global hockey podcast.
Yeah. Centered in the most American state.
As it should be.
Yeah, as it should be.
Your point about that power play though brought me to one thing that I wanted to bring up. How good has this penalty kill been this series?
I don't get scared. I'm so used to it being on the ice and having control of what's going on. It doesn't even feel like power plays anymore. Like there's some where there's possession, but it's like, we're good. If they score, we'll be fine.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, Winnipeg was the number 1 power play unit in the NHL during the regular season, I believe, and now they're like 1 for 15 in this series.
They look like a
incredible.
Yeah.
And
the Stars have given them every opportunity to practice it. Like,
that's the thing. Like, it's not like they're not taking penalties, and it's not like they're taking absolutely everything away, yet there's no conversions for Winnipeg right now.
It's a real good. You can put that on players like Sam Steele and Ilya Lyubushkin and Cody Ceci, and just the warm blanket that these guys provide in their, like, they're just bringing me some warm milk and honey, and I'm just sitting. I feel so comfortable there on the ice. Everything is clicking, and that penalty kill has been a difference maker, because if that penalty kill is even operating at like a league average level right now, Winnipeg may have stolen 2 of these games very easily.
Yeah.
We've given them the opportunity. They could have swept us. Like, we've given them every opportunity to capitalize on the power play, and they haven't, due to the effectiveness of the Stars penalty kill. It's been beautiful to watch. This team is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how long they can keep it up.
Yes, and if we keep it up, it looks like we're going to be playing the Edmonton Oilers, who are now up 3-1 in their series easily, and this hurts, saying I have the Leafs at heart, easily the 2 best teams in the playoff left, Edmonton and Dallas. I'm not trying to, we still have to beat Winnipeg, but Edmonton is behind the scary door, behind the Jets. That series is going to be a barn burner that every person who's ever watched a hockey game should be tuning into. Expect the high-flying moments that we've seen in this series from the Stars, in which the goals kind of come in bunches, but the whole time, because the Oilers have goaltending that on paper probably should have their season done in about February, and yet they're going to get to the Western Conference Final. It's Calvin Pickard and Stuart Skinner, neither of which can save a beach ball right now. I think Skinner's hurt as well, so that's another thing to factor in. But it's Connor McDavid doing what he did in the playoffs last year, and I know that definitely sticks out in Stars fans' memories. He's a hard player to beat. It's not even that the Oilers are hard to beat. They are, but Connor McDavid's hard to beat. Leon Draisaitl's hard to beat, and they're playing at their best. So, Travis, I want to ask, if game 1 between Dallas and Edmonton is tomorrow, how are you feeling about that?
How do I put this? I'm a little scared. I'm not totally comfortable, but at the same time, I'm not panicking.
No, it truly, it's the Stanley Cup final and the Western Conference final. That's what it is. I don't think any of the teams in the East are going to hang with Dallas or Edmonton or even Vegas, or I could even throw Winnipeg in there, is going to hang with any of them for 7 games. These Western Conference teams are substantially better. There were some teams that they definitely preyed upon that were pretty weak in the West during the regular season, but our elite out in the Western Conference is wild. On the East side of things, Carolina just took a 3-1 series lead. They are still, after tonight's win by the Stars, Carolina is still the betting favorite to win the Stanley Cup. That's a moneypuck.com stat, who's usually pretty good at the betting stuff and updating as every game goes on. I still don't believe that number whatsoever, clearly. I think Stars and Edmonton feels like a coin flip to me. It's really, it depends just how bad Calvin Pickard is, or just how bad whoever is playing. The fact that they don't know who's going to be playing is a little nerve-wracking for them, I bet.
If you have multiple goalies, you have no goalie. And that's...
Yes. Well, some teams, I think there's actually been a weird shift in the NHL over to doing more of a 1A, 1B kind of situation. Right, the Bruins really pulled it off.
Doesn't really feel like that. It's more like...
Well, you have 2 2s. It doesn't work when you have 2
exactly.
2s.
It's 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B. You know, it's not a true tandem. It's 2 Band-Aids.
Yeah, that's a really two Band-Aids is a perfect way to describe the Edmonton's goaltending situation. Because it's not like, I think the Bruins were the first, or no, the Islanders did it too, but the Bruins really did it perfectly of showing what 1A, 1B can look like in Swayman Allmark, even though that was not sustainable.
I mean, that's probably the most recent example. Yeah,
and
I've been saying there's a lot of teams in the past that have done it with two goalies.
Yeah, and there's a handful of teams that did this year, and Pickard and Skinner are just not the two. It's almost like they put that tandem together, or like, what if we played them at the same time?
Right.
Like, are we allowed to like put them both in front of the net? That would both they'd hurt each other. Like, somehow the puck would still end up in the net.
For that system to be success, that type of strategy to be successful, you need to have two number one goalies. You can't have or a one goalie and like a 1.5, for lack of a better term.
You just need two guys that you feel comfortable with, and especially when you don't have the elite true starter goalie, like kind of an Ottinger situation, and that was definitely starter backup.
Yeah, I think in the Star situation, I think DeSmith fits into my definition of a 1.5 kind of guy.
Where he was good. He had a good season, I think.
Yeah. He's not your starter, and he's clearly the backup, but you're not panicking when he goes in.
No, he's not unusable like some backups have been in the past, in which if Ottinger goes down the playoffs, I'm scared. But when Ottinger is down for a week in the regular season, I'm just like, he's going to get some good rest. Casey will lose an extra game compared to what Ottinger would, but they'll be okay. That's the way to do it. But when you're doing
absolute garbage,
hey, Travis, I'm a Leafs fan. I've seen. I was told, man,
I wasn't gonna.
Antoine Bibeau, Garrett Sparks, Curtis Back. We've gone through backups like nobody's business.
Oh yeah.
This is the first year we've had two good goalies. So I was gonna say they're actually a team that pulled off the tandem really well because they had two goalies that you were super comfortable with in net. They played great in front of them. They both have their strengths and weaknesses. But Joseph Wall's done pretty well. I mean, his stats don't look great, but he's been good for the Leafs coming in relief for Stolarz as he deals with his concussion. And there were times during the regular season where I would have argued Joseph Wall was probably going to get the playoff starts. Edmonton is just so far away from that. And I think they are. And it's like I want them to be good. And I really do think – I was talking about this with my dad today, actually. If the Oilers got league average goaltending, we'd be packing our bags. But Skinner's not going to steal you a game in these playoffs. I mean, he might. Any goalie can.
He did last year, unfortunately. But
he did last year. This is not last year, though.
Thank God.
Mikko Rantanen's here now, and it's all fixed. Everything's better.
Yeah. Good.
I don't want to shift on to the Western Conference Final, but a 3-1. I'm going to look really stupid if the Stars blow this, but I have a lot of confidence in them. The Western Conference Final is going to be here this soon, but first we have to get through the Jets.
I think they win.
I'm thinking 6. Yeah. I think Winnipeg has a hurrah. That it's going to be a rough game. I think it's Thursday they're playing.
Thursday night.
It's not going to be a fun one, but I truly think that Stars come out on top. We're not getting back to Winnipeg after Thursday.
After Thursday night, I was going to say we're on our way back to Winnipeg right now.
Yeah, no, we're not coming back. We're going once. I love the polls. I don't know if you've read them that come out.
In Dallas. Yeah.
The way it should be. There's always those polls, and I want to bring it up if there's a Jets fan listening to this, that they always ask the players what team is on your no-trade list when they do like the anonymous questionnaire, and every player in the league says Winnipeg. And every time they're asked, what's your least favorite city to play in? Winnipeg. It's cold, it's dark, and it's wet.
I have heard
I don't want
some
to go
very
back.
unpleasant things about Winnipeg this week.
Yes.
From people who have been there. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Apparently
media
not a very
it's
good
not the
part of
most
Canada. Yeah.
It's not the best city to travel to. I bet they love Denver. I saw all the pictures. I saw a bunch of reporters like always post, like all the beat guys and everyone posting, "Oh, Denver's gorgeous. We're hiking in the mountains today."
Going to Red Rocks.
Yeah, no one's mentioned Winnipeg once. They are they are plain hotel arena hotel plain. There is nothing else going on, at least on the social media point of view. Yeah, it's Winnipeg. It's Winnipeg. Dallas is a little bit more fun of a city. But did you have anything else you wanted to kind of bring to today's episode? You think we're going to wrap up?
I kind of have a question that's been kind of going around here. Or at least I've talked with some other people. I don't know how much we've covered this on this show because it's just been a couple episodes. But we were talking about that goalie situation earlier with the 1A 1B type of thing. Winnipeg definitely does not have that. Hellebuck gets a lot of playing time, pretty much all the playing time, obviously. So and the whole thing with Rantanen pulling shifts pulling double shifts kind of came to mind of how sustainable is that, kind of because, with the way they're playing Hellebuck so much in the net, there's all this talk about him getting too tired. How sustainable is Rantanen pulling those double shifts and not getting too tired?
It'll be situational.
I guess the broader part of that is how sustainable is playing 7 defensemen and 11 forwards.
So I'm weird in that I'm not a huge fan of 11-7, personally. I think it's really hard to carry chemistry throughout a game when people are moving as much as they do. It's very reminiscent of youth hockey. And did you grow up playing hockey at all?
No. I played football. I played basketball. I played baseball. I did not play hockey.
I played a lot of defense. And there's occasionally games in which you have an odd number of guys on the back end. Usually at the youth level, it's 3 or 5. 7 would be 7. No, someone's not playing if there's 7. But it's really hard to find momentum when, especially defense, and I'll kind of want to come back to Rantanen, but especially on the defensive end of the puck, there's a lot of shifting, and they should play with each other all to know and trust each other and where each other are going to be at all times, but it's a little different when you're with the same partner every night. So I think we'll probably see it Thursday. I don't know if we see it in the next round.
I think we see it the rest of the series. I'm just curious, like, as someone who didn't play hockey and doesn't really know the strategy as much.
It also depends, like, if Rantanen keeps scoring, I think you leave it. Now, maybe they take it into game 1 against Edmonton and see how it goes. But I think it circles back to what we were talking about last episode. I don't want Petrovic out of the lineup. I don't really want CC out of the lineup. And, like, as much as I love Blackwell, I think those guys are adding more than what Blackwell would. Like, it's 100%.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare the two. And Rantanen did pretty well with the extra minutes. Like Pete said, he's earned it.
Oh, yeah.
Until he stops playing like it. It might stay for a little bit, I think. Are you kind of same boat? Let's see how it goes against Winnipeg. And
yes, I was wondering how much one guy can take with all that load on his shoulders and how long that can actually sustain, I guess.
I mean, it's weird to say. It helps that he's a big dude. That dude can take a beat. Like, Mikko Rantanen's called Moose for a reason.
6'4", 215.
He's 6'4". I remember, like, when I was in the locker room, the only guy that I was like, you're a large human, and I don't know how much you dealt with him, but Yanni Hakanpää scared me standing next to him.
I never crossed paths with him. So
okay, I need to go off topic for like 30 seconds to talk about Yanni Hakanpää. He was such a weird player to do scrums with since he's over 6'4". He's probably in the 6'5" range. And when he interviews, he's more Finnish than the other Finns in that his English is significantly more broken and he's less acclimatized to our language and the way we talk. So it's a little clunkier when he speaks.
Yeah.
And he stares at the ceiling when he talks. And he's already 6'5". So he's just the entire time just like looking up and everyone's looking up at him. But I loved Yanni Hakanpää.
Yeah.
I wish you got to experience more Yanni Hakanpää hockey because he was Lee and Michelle less talented, but so much bigger. So big.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 6'3", so a lot of these guys, when I'm in there, I'm like, if you're bigger than me and you're on this team, it's frightening.
Yeah, 6'3" is tall for a hockey player. Most of them sit in that 5'11", 6 foot range.
Yeah.
I think Rantanen can keep doing it. I really do. I think he's got the talent to deserve the right to be on the ice as much as he is. And I think he hasn't really shown any indication that something's wrong, something's tweaked. I think they watch it closely in case they go, maybe he's nursing something and extra minutes put a toll on that, or maybe the fatigue factor becomes too much of a thing to deal with.
I wasn't even thinking injuries. I was just thinking about load management.
A little bit, like how many? Let me see how many minutes he played, because that would really help me see box score, pull you up. Mikko Rantanen, he only played 23:49, which is about 3 minutes or about 4 minutes more than Rupe did.
Okay,
it's an extra 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the way you're staggering the shifts, then it's gonna be fine. But
he'll be fine. There might be times where he's maybe not the guy double shifting. Let's throw another guy out there for a second shift to control that load.
You doesn't
always necessarily have to be Rantanen, but I keep him on the ice. Let him play 60 and see what his body does.
I was just assuming it was going to be him because that's what the guy Pete would rather have on the ice.
Yes, Pete. Look, there's sometimes where you wish this wasn't. You could just leave him out there. That's what we wanted to do. The puck's going in for him. Why take him off the ice?
4-line player,
Yeah, he'd put him on all four
lines, 60 minutes.
Yeah, you'd never leave. Just put a water bottle and his shoulder pads so you could just take sips. Have a straw coming through his
helmet. I'm running out of breath just thinking about that.
Oh, dude, that's like severe league stuff on a Tuesday night.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think that kind of wraps us up. Expect a game one. Let me just confirm. It is, Thursday at 8:30. So expect a late one. It'll be at the Canada Life Center.
Time. Yeah.
8:30 Central. Thank you for
probably that likely means like an 8:52 puck drop.
Yes. Just have your coffee ready, have your caffeine ready. It's going to be a late night, but hopefully at the end of that late night, there's a solid chance that we are celebrating an appearance in the Western Conference Final. The Stars are just 60 good minutes of hockey away from the Final Four. So we will kind of break that down when it happens, but I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Again, my name is Trevor Neal. This is Travis Tyler, and you have a good night.